Are there questions without notice? The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Having been dragged into the chair, it's not as though everybody then says, right, okay, well, folks, let's all go away for a few days while the Speaker has a training program. No, it's straight away into live action. And there are complexities and challenges all through the sitting day, but it's fair to say that question time is the most dynamic. It's the time when every member is in the chamber for that hour or so, and there's no doubt about it. It's challenging for the Speaker during that time. So I think, apart from a degree of trepidation, it really was, to start with, a matter of getting to grips with the mechanics, the really basic fundamentals. Who's getting to ask a question and how many questions? Is the answer responsive to the question? Are people having the opportunity to be heard? Going from one side of the chamber to the other. And these things can all be achieved, and like anything, once you're on top of it to a reasonable degree, then it can happen smoothly. But there's a lot of moving parts in question time, and there's inevitably there's noise and different contributions coming from different parts of the chamber, and it's a matter of being on top of what's happening, and also perhaps sufficiently to be ready for the surprising things that happen. A very dynamic environment during question time.
Before I call on the member for Enfield, I call to order the member for Chaffey and the Premier, and I warn for a second time the member for Garner. The member for Enfield.
I think as a result of all those elements, I think probably that was slightly more loose ends and frayed edges than someone looking on and giving me a mark on the scorecard might have looked for. But as I say, I think I learnt a lot in that first question time. I learnt about the sorts of things that I'd like to keep notes about, to as a kind of routine for the structure of the question time, the sorts of aids that can help make things smooth and consistent. And so I think it's been incremental steps. And really, the whole purpose of any of these things is to, as far as possible, to be able to get out of the way of the questions and the answers. And I think having the tools with which to keep things organised and consistent and fair then helps to be able to get out of the way and let the questions and answers proceed. Yes, and I've come into this role in the course of this 54th Parliament, indeed in the course of the second session, and my predecessor, who's a colleague, is someone who I'm interacting with day to day, and I think that's a tremendous benefit to come into the role hot on the heels of someone else who's just gone through lots of similar experience. So talking to my immediate predecessor at the beginning and along the way has been very valuable for me. And I've spoken as well to the Speaker in Canberra, and he's been very generous in terms of his encouragement and his willingness to share, I guess, reflections on how the role can be discharged successfully. And I'll look to engage with with other previous speakers in South Australia, and I think speakers around the country. It's been an unusual year this year, and I think it's that the opportunity for interaction between the state parliaments is no exception. People are more challenged in their ability to interact, but I certainly think there's a lot that can be learned because there's a lot that's similar between our different state parliaments. I keep coming back to this point about joy, and I think it's for people to decide how they might remember me, and I think that's something I'm curious about. How people might characterise the way I go about it is something that I'm interested to know about along the way, but it's a matter for them. I think I'm certainly wanting to be engaged and curious, and of course fair. Those are my objectives, and perhaps to wherever possible to lower the temperature of the place, so that there's energy and there's passion, but maybe there's a minimum of acrimony, and I think that's in the interests of the merits of the debate and the health of the place.